I think it has been officially said by the Iranian, just I said in the news, Iranian foreign ministry spokesman. He said that yes, we are still committed to the deal and to the talks. But I think first of all there are two preconditions. First of all, U.S. needs to be outspoken and to publicly condemn the Israelis' war on Iran and violation of Iran's sovereignty. Secondly, we are not going to talk once our country is under attack. So, anytime that those preconditions happens, Iran is still committed to diplomacy as has been for a long time.
You're on the Gist on Strat News Global. Welcome. I'm Surya Gangadharan. We're going to look at the Iran-Israel conflict, and now seeing it on all it's being reported from everywhere. And I have with me, standing by in Tehran, Dr. Seyed Emamian, assistant professor at Tehran Polytechnic University and co-founder of governance and policy think tank. Dr. Emamian, great to have you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you.
Dr. Emamian, let's get straight to the issue at hand, the conflict between you and your country and Israel. What is the situation in Tehran as of now? Is it still under attack?
First of all, I think it's a wrong phrase to call it a conflict between Iran and Israel. Is Israel's war on Iran? So let's to be accurate in phrasing the situation. Israel has violated international law. He has publicly attacked the Iranian sovereignty. So he is the war. The country that is a colonial genocidal country and is run by an internationally renowned criminal like Netanyahu that has been criminalized by all international courts. So is, as I said, is substantially a genocidal, occupational and colonial state that has invaded another country with a long history, very civilizational, important root. And I think we expect a country like India, with a civilizational background, with a lot of interaction for centuries with Iran, to be much more, I think, in favor of the right side of the history, not with a colonial state like Israel that has been very superficially based on the occupation and is violating always, every day, all the international laws and humanity humanity in the world. So I think that's the introduction, I should say. The situation in Tehran is now, to some extent, is the fourth day of the war that has imposed on us. So the situation in Tehran is getting much more in situation of the similar to the wartime. Of course, it's not something that Iranians are have been familiar with, because the last time that we had war, there was almost 40 years ago, 37, 34 years ago, 37, 36 years ago, that Iraq's war at the time on Iran was ended by the Saddam regime, if you remember. So the situation here is not too familiar for the Iranians. So I think it takes time for the Iranian, and a very big city like Tehran with more than 12 million population, to be familiar with this current situation. But I think, in compared to the Israelis, that they are based, their regime, the colonial regime, has been based on military people and has been always in the war, and they are living in the war. They are living by war. So it's quite different. Iran is a very big country with diversified and well populated. So I think it takes time for Iranians to get familiar and to be adapted to the situation. But now the situation is going on at the fourth day. I think the first day was a little bit shocking. But then I think the situation has changed a little bit, and every a few hours you can see the Iranians' retaliation has happened in Haifa, in Tel Aviv, and I think it should be something painful for the Israelis that they never thought about it. Yeah.
So, what explains this war, this conflict? What has triggered it? What is the reason?
As I said, it's not a conflict. It's a war imposed by Israel. I think the reason
Hmm.
is the Israelis' identity. Identity of Israelis is the source of insecurity in the region. So they are looking for demilitarization of every countries in the region, and to safeguard Israel's military hegemony over everything in the region. And so, as a colonial state, as I said, as an identity, as a project, political project that it has no root in the region, and completely all people of that they call themselves Israelis have come outside the region. They are by
Yeah.
the different origins from Africa, from Europe, that they have come and they have created such a political border that call it Israel. They are looking for, as I said, military hegemony in the region. So every independent countries that they are going to be powerful, independent, and to have some final, some independent voice, they are going to violate their sovereignty. And I call Israel's as unlimited aggression, genocidal, and expansionism is something that we could characterize the current political regime that has created in this occupied territory. So expansionism, that means Israel doesn't limit to the borders that now call it Israel. They have been outspoken. They have been outspoken that they look for Jordan. They have been outspoken. They are looking to annex the most part of the Syria. They have been very
Yeah.
much clear that they are even looking for some part of Iraq and Saudi Arabia.
What role do you think America and its allies have played in this war?
I think the US, I call the US approach here is a kind of the supportive silence by now. That means that it seems that Trump was really looking for a deal, but there was a kind of the paradoxical pressure on Trump, partly from Trump's his inner circle that I call them anti-war isolationist group that they call themselves rightly America First. That they were always against any intervention, direct intervention and conflict by the America, by the US. But at the same time, there is a very important part of the Trump's camp, particularly from the Adelson, I think, constituency. They are the main funders of the Trump's campaign, and they are, we call them Israel first, part of the Trump's camp. So Israel has tried to pressurize Trump by their ally inside his inner circle, and Trump, at the end of the day, it seems that they have gone to convince Trump with a green light to allow Israelis to attack in Iraq. But I think it has happened just recently, a few days, maybe a week before the attack. But it was very, I think, against very distrustful. That we now believe that Trump knew about the attack a few days before, but he wasn't trying to pretend that he is still committed to the talk and deal. So I think the role that Trump has played in last few days or a week before the attack was something that very much damaging for the trust of continuing in the talk between Iran and US. But with regards to the future, I think Trump is waiting to see what would happen. If Israel is going to fail, I think Trump is going to play the role of a mediator. If Israel is going to go ahead, Trump is going to join them to I think to figure out himself as a hero. So it's based on the Trump's personality and kind of the showman personality that Trump has. I think it would be expected, but we don't know what would happen. But you know that a lot of important people from the America First campaign are very much against any intervention or in the engagement of the U.S. in the conflict, like Steve Bannon and J.D. Vance and Tulsi Gabbard. So I think it's important to know that Trump still has a kind of a dual pressure on him, and we don't know what would which kind of the pressure are much more powerful and influential on the Trump policy in the next few days.
Do you think there is any scope for that talks with the US to resume on your nuclear question?
I think it has been officially said by the Iranian, just I said in the news, Iranian foreign ministry spokesman. He said that yes, we are still committed to the deal and to the talks. But I think first of all there are two preconditions. First of all, U.S. needs to be outspoken and to publicly condemn the Israelis' war on Iran and violation of Iran's sovereignty. Secondly, we are not going to talk once the our country is under attack. So, anytime that those precondition happens, Iran is still committed to diplomacy as has been for a long time.
So, a big question here: how has Israel been able to penetrate so deep into Iran and kill so many of your top people, including scientists?
I think it's clear that Israel's intelligence service has been very much supported by almost all NATO intelligence services, particularly the U.S. intelligence service. So there is a share of the intelligence between them, and they have been focusing on Iranian nuclear program for decades. And as you know, Iran, like India, is of course is not as big as India, but is very big compared to a colonial regime like Israel, and very diversified. Israel is like a military camp. Everyone there has military background, and I think out of the 9 million people, 3 million still are military officials. But it is not the case for Iran, 90 million populated country with a huge size, and different countries are neighboring, has borders with Iran. So Iran is to some extent much more easily penetrable rather than the countries like Israel. And they have been working on that with all the intelligence and military services and intelligence and security services of the NATO for decades. So it's something that has happened, and we never, it's not something new for Iran. If you remember, such kind of the terrorist attacks has happened in Iranian history, at least in post-revolution. If you remember, in the first, if you have maybe have heard or remember, in the first years of the revolution, if I'm not mistaken, in 1981, 82, there was a huge terrorist attacks in almost every public departments in Tehran by the terrorist groups that call MKO. And it happened at the time by the support of Americans, and now still, I think they are trying to repeat such kind of the experience. But I think the security establishment in Iran is now much more powerful and well established than before. And I think it takes a few days just to manage everything into track. And you know that the Israelis coming from the by day planes and then missiles, and at the same time something happens on the ground, and it's similar to exactly what Ukrainians operated a few weeks ago inside Russia. I think the same tactic is going to be used here, and it seems that is close connection and interaction and cooperation between Mossad, CIA, at the same time with the Ukrainian intelligence service. And they are going to attack the similar attacks that they operated a few weeks ago on Russian air bases. They are going to use the same tactic in Iran. But I think it would be manageable in a few days' time.
Mhm. So, where are the supreme leader? Where is President Pezeshkian? Are they in Iran? Are they somewhere else?
It's I'm to some extent surprised by your question. Just today was the in the parliament there was a open meeting for voting the new economic minister. Mr. Pezeshkian was there. Mr. Ghalibaf, the head of parliament, was there, and 2 days ago, there was a TV message from the supreme leader, and it's very surprising for me why you are asking such a question. If you have just checked the news a few hours ago, there was the most official meeting in Tehran between government and parliament for it was controversial, of course, for the politically controversial for voting the new economic minister that he has been at the end of the day voted by the parliament, and he now went to the his office at the economic minister,
Are
minister of
they under
economy.
threat, sir? Are they under threat?
In principle, they shouldn't be under any threat because even in the war, political figures are not going to be in the threat. But because Israel is a genocidal regime and it has attacked everyone, you just remember what happened in the last 2 years. They have attacked all hospitals, people. They have killed thousands of children and families and women. So they are going to do anything that they could. It's a genocidal regime with the identity of the terrorism.
Is Iran completely alone in this fight?
I think military wise, I never seen or heard of any kind of the coalition. Like what happened a few weeks or months ago between Pakistan and India. So India was supported by someone, but there was no one officially says that I'm with India or with Pakistan. But we know that India and Pakistan were supported by some countries, and some countries like Iran was very neutral, impartial, went to both capitals just to mediate between two countries. Um, uh, it is the case, I think, now. There is no such official coalition or coordination military wise, but there are a lot of countries that they have been publicly in favor of Iran. You know that SCO has announced his statement, and still I was surprised, one to some extent shocked, when I found about that India has withdrawn itself from such kind of the public statement or collective statement. And I was talking with your ambassador in Tehran, and he said that yes, we have done that because of some political reason to be to enable ourselves to mediate between these two. Anyway, any country has its own right to decide about, but there are a lot of countries, including countries in the region or neighbors in Persian Gulf, and also SCO emerging powers like China, Russia, South Africa, and others, that they have condemned clearly the Israelis' imposed war and violation of international laws. And some countries like India, that they are good friend, political friend for Iran, and civilizational connections are goes back for his centuries. I think I could understand to some extent their conservatism, but at the same time, we could rely on their culturally rich and civilizationally rich countries, that they know that they should stay with the right side of the history, not to support any violative, genocidal, aggressive political project like Israel.
So, what is Iran's strategy now? What do you intend to do?
Actually, I'm not in any official position. I'm an academic and think tanker. But I think Iran's historical role is now to self-defend its territory, in like any liberated independent countries. So Iran is going to defend its interest by all the means that it has, and Iran has a good history and background of defending itself. Once most of the international powers of the time are supporting an aggressor or oppressor of the time. Just remember a few decades ago, Saddam Hussein as a dictator in Iraq. He attacked Iran. He invaded Iranian territory by the support of the time, by the support of you. If you remember, there was huge support from US at the time. There was French jets in Saddam's hand. There was German chemical weapons on Saddam's hands. and there was huge support from the Europe and the US and Israelis. But Iranians, while there was just a few months after the revolution, and there was a huge political deinstitutionalization. It was politically deinstitutionalized at the time, the Iranian political system. But Iranian people as a nation, they came together and they defended their dignity and their territory and their national interests. I think it's something that is going to happen right now. The level of the social and political cohesion that we are witnessing now in Iran is unprecedented. You know that, like every country is, we have had a lot of political disputes and political division, even to some extent social polarization, like is normal everywhere, of course, in the world. But now there is a huge socio-political cohesive perspective and situation that we are witnessing now in Iran because of the threat that everyone is now feeling on their national identity and dignity. So Iranians are going to be together, united, against any invader, against any aggressor, particularly once someone that has invaded Iranian territory is a genocidal and internationally known criminal, like Netanyahu and Israeli regime as an occupier colonial state. So that no one, of course, no one, no nation in the world are supporting Israel. Just look at a recent study that was published by Pew, that Israelis, even in the West, even in the US, the proportion of the people that they are in favor of Israel are sharply reducing. So Israel doesn't have any public support in the world. Yes, there are a lot of support from governments because of their military and financial interests. Someone they are fearing from the Israelis' aggression, but there is no public support in the world. So Iranians are going to defend their dignity and their national interest.
So, last question: is there a risk of wider war? Will Iran, to defend itself, target American bases? They are spread all over the region. Presumably, they are being used right now to assist Israel.
Actually, U.S. has been clear. Even Trump yesterday, he posted a post in Social Truth that he said clearly that we are not getting involved in the Israelis' aggression. I think until U.S. is not going to be involved practically and politically, I think no one in Iran is going to attack anyone else. But Iran has been clear. If there was an evidence that anyone is going to support Israel, I think there would be a legitimate target for Iranian attack. Uh, with regards to the countries in the region, I think we are in the very good position now, political relationship with all friends and neighbors in the Persian Gulf, and with countries like even much far countries like even Pakistan, India, China, everyone. We are in connection, good connection, political connection. So the situation goes ahead with Iranian attacking, retaliating the attacks of the Israelis. But if there was an evidence, anyone from NATO, from US and from European countries is going to help Israelis, or any bases, political bases, military bases in the region is going to be used for supporting Israelis, I think there would be. Iran has been clear. Officials, just like you, I have heard from the news that has been officially said by Iranian foreign ministry spokesperson that there would be, from the Iranian point of view, a legitimate military target for Iranian attack.
On that note, Dr. Emamian, thank you for giving us that perspective from Tehran. It was badly required. And we look forward to touching up again online so that we can get fresh perspectives from the war that is now ongoing. Thank you very much.
Thanks for connecting me.
That's all we have for you on this broadcast. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on social media. Thank you very much. Good day.